morning. It's Thursday, July 25th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. We're bringing you all the news and announcements and events, along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of HCC's English and Communications, and today I'm joined by Linda Davis, the Office Manager for College Operations. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Amy. I'm so glad to be riding shotgun with you today for two reasons. One, you're here, and two, today is the day I officially became a mom 19 years ago.
Oh, wow, that is
So
a
shout out
special
to my son,
day.
Tristan.
July 25th is a good day. That's
Yes, it is.
excellent. And congratulations to you becoming a mom on that day. Well, I'm glad to be here, even though it is bleary and rainy outside, and I know Houstonians are probably getting a little tired of the rain, but we're gonna come through and get some sun pretty soon, I think. So Linda, we are live every day when HCC is in session. Can you tell us how people can find us?
Certainly. You can find us live on Houston Community College's district Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and HCCTV noon, 5 and 10, Monday through Friday.
Wonderful. Today, for Thursday Family Fun Day, we're taking another flight of fancy to learn about Houston's aviation history. And Michael Bludworth is with us. He is the volunteer historian for the 1940 Air Terminal Museum and Houston's aviation history. And he is our Thursday Family Fun Day guest. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Good morning and thank you.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hear about your segment. I have a fond attachment to aviation. I grew up, I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. So with the history of the Wright brothers and that fantastic museum. So very excited to hear what you have to share. First, we're talking to one of our deans who says he is devoted to building a talent-strong Texas. I'm very pleased to welcome Kris Asper, Dean of Architectural Design and Construction Center of Excellence. Good morning, Kris.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and have a very nice Thursday morning.
Yeah, and just to note that Kris and I are both at Central this morning, coming to you on Up to the Minute. Let's begin with what you mean when you say you want to build a talent-strong Texas.
Definitely. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here. And the reason we say we want to make sure it is a talent-strong Texas, because what we offer here at Central within HCC, it's really what makes the economy of Texas strong. We are in very desperate need for people to go to the workforce. We have a lot of industry around us. This is Texas, this is oil and gas. A lot of demand from that industry. We have medical. We have a lot of demand from that industry. The medical center is here. The medical center is changing every day. When they do change those buildings, we have to be in the top of it. They depend on us to bring the technology, the automation into them. So a lot of need here, in Texas. We have the transportation, Texas Department of Transportation, depend on us. So the more we provide to them, the more they can do and the more they can improve. So we are really in a very close relationship with those industry around us.
Yes, and I think, Houstonians are feeling that need to keep up with technology, to keep supporting our infrastructure, and to make sure that we're serving our community and all of the people who live here and work in Houston and globally, because of our connection to the ship channel and our all of our global industries. So tell us your plans for aligning student success with those regional needs that you just talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that a couple of weeks ago we had a hurricane hit us, and you saw that the whole city stopped for about a week or 10 days. I know some people still do not have full power to their residence or to their businesses. So when this happen, our students, they will be the first people to look at, to go help out in connecting electricity back again, and connecting the equipment back again, and connecting the internet back again. So our students are really they play critical role in that. So we like to bring the new technology into them, because they cannot go do it in the old way, in the old-fashioned way of doing things. So we have to be fast, we have to be accurate. Those are the two things we train our student: how they use the technology, how they use the internet, how they use the Internet of Things. All those things we train our student to make sure that they can overcome any kind of issue happen within the city.
And that requires the concept of a skill-based lab market as opposed to a degree-based lab market. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. All our classes are lab-based. We have the best labs in the country. Always we modern them. We bring the new technology into them. We bring the new equipment into them. So our students, they spend about 2/3 of their time in the lab, 1/3 in theory. So it is strictly hand-on experience. When those students, they leave, they gain experience as if they are at the workplace. So they can hit the ground and run from first day. Companies these days, they become slim. They do not have time to train their people. So they depend on us to come and train those individuals to go start working from day one. They are not looking for a company to train them, to spend a month or 2 months to train them. No, they will leave HCC Central fully trained to work with emerging technology, with the best around them.
And talk to us more about that emerging technology, including in the construction fields. How are you using it in your COE?
Correct. When it says architectural and construction, people, they think we're still using the old ways. No, this is not how it goes. In construction, they use a lot of Apple technology. They use a lot of iPad. They use a lot of laser. They use a lot of drone. They use a lot of collab lab, to do simulation, to do visualization. So all these skills are built into our curriculum. Students, when they leave us, they know how to use this. So, for instance, to fix your HVAC, when the HVAC goes down, it's not the old way that people, they come and they hit and miss, troubleshoot. No, right now they come with their iPad, they log into the Nest, and the Nest tell them where is the point. So the student will pinpoint the problem and they fix it right from the first time. The same thing with the car. If there is problem with your car, a check engine will come out. And then you take it to the mechanics, they put scanner, and they find out where is the problem. It's not like the old days, The same thing with our technology here. We use a lot of internet software, a lot of digital software. Those, they assist the worker to pinpoint the problem and to fix it right from the first time, without wasting time and spending more on equipment and all these things.
Well, and I know you have there are a variety of different technologies that are new and that you're constantly developing, and we're running out of time. So I want to ask you, before I let you go, about your ABET accreditation. Oh,
correct. Yes. We also we are starting to become, on the top of everything. So ABET, it's accreditation for the program. And this is one of those kind of accreditation, not everybody get it. Like HCC is the only college in Texas have the ABET accreditation. It took us about 2 years to get them down here, work with us to get us accredited. So we have ABIT accreditation, we have NABSAP accreditation, we have ASHRAE accreditation. We have several of those accreditation because those accreditation, they keep us up to par with technology.
And they really put us on the map and make sure that, we are providing the high quality instruction for our students so that when we send them out into industry and into the workplace, they're ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, it's been great talking to you this morning.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Again, thank you, Kris Asper, Dean of Architectural Design and Construction COE, located at Central College. We'll have all of your information in our post after the show.
Thank you.
Up next, after a commercial break, Linda will discuss Houston's aviation history.
When I grow up, I want to work in a lab to build robots.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me, I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
Welcome back. And moving on to Michael Bludworth, volunteer historian in Houston's aviation history and Thursday Family Fun Day guest. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We're looking forward to learning about an important moment in Houston's and Texas's history. Let's begin with the first credible flight of an airplane in Texas. Tell us all about that.
Well, most people don't associate Houston with first. We're the city of the future. But indeed, the first flight, and it's a credible flight of an airplane, did occur here in South Houston in February 18th of 1910. And it was a large event, well publicized. It was part of a promotion for the development of South Houston, which was a city. We don't think of it still is a city, but we don't think of it as being out there. But in 1910, it was out there. And so they had a promotion and they brought in the king of air shows, Louis Palhon, who was making a tour of the U.S. and he got the chance to fly an airplane in Texas.
Wow. Well, what was the $20,000 payment for?
Well, he was touring, and this was his fee that he charged. Before he came to Houston, he was in New Orleans, St. Louis, Denver, coming all the way from Los Angeles, where they'd had a large exposition at the end of 1909. So this was a paid exposition. He came with 4 aircraft, all of us on a train. None of us is flying. It's too dangerous to fly. So they all came in their train. Louis Palhon, 2 mechanics, his wife, and their dog all showed up on Thursday, February 18th, 1910 at South Houston to make the flight.
Well, we can't leave the dog behind.
No, well, the whole family. Palhon was 26 years old, by the way. He was the king of air shows. Yes, they had such a thing in 1910. This is very early on. And
wow. Well, tell me, what did he fly and where?
Well, the actual flight took place in a grassy pasture at what we call an airport now, but it was College and Old Galveston Road intersection, which is still there right at South Houston by the railroad. And they flew from the pasture. There wasn't anything there at the time. It was just open country. So they bedded down there. And you have to remember, this is an airplane that had a maximum speed of maybe 45 miles an hour by our, and they had to be very careful with it.
Wow. So what was the wind conditions?
Well, it was windy, and on the first day, they only made a couple of flights, but the second day, Friday, more people showed up. People paid $1, which is real money. That's like a week's wage in 1910. And on Friday, 6,000 people showed up. They ran a special train from Houston to the flight site, and they just loaded it up with people. It was quite an event, spectacular.
So you say they paid $1 to catch the train to go and watch the plane?
No, the admission was $1. I don't know the train fare, but it's probably a quarter, which was really something.
Man, what can we buy with a quarter today?
Yeah. Well, you have to remember, at that time, there were actually two railroads that ran through the location. The Houston Interurban that ran between Houston and Galveston was there, along with the regular railroad. So this site was chosen intentionally because, of course, it's adjacent to South Houston and it is easy for the population to get to.
Wow, that is interesting. So he wasn't from Houston, right?
Oh, no, he's from Paris. He is one of the very first aviators in the world. We don't realize that there was a very sophisticated international consortium of aircraft and pilots long before 1910. This was Houston, Texas was very far behind, but of course we were the Wild West. And it finally got to town in 1910. Remember, the Wright brothers had flown 7 years before that, 7 years. The military had flyers. So it was about time when it got here.
So would there be any Houstonians who flew here?
Well, when Paul flew in South Texas, part of the crowd included a number of Houstonians who were actively working on their own airplanes in their garages, as it were. They were skilled automobile mechanics, and they watched very closely and even measured the airplanes that Paul Hahn was flying to help them in their endeavor. And that was Shorty Walker and Greasy Smith, and they would fly eventually from the same location in South Houston in the fall of 1910. So within 9 months, we had our first flight by a Houstonian, a first flight by an airplane built in Houston, and the first Houstonian to fly. And
wow. Now, I hear
was,
Robert Redford did a movie long ago about the air shows. Are you familiar with that?
Nope, can't say that I am.
See, I got one in on you.
Well, is that Waldo? You're talking about Waldo Pepper?
Nope, I'm not familiar with that one.
I thought that was Robert Redford. This is much earlier. The barnstorming that's so popular would happen after World War I, or more like 1920. But Houston has quite a number of stories to tell about that too, like Bessie Coleman flying here in 1924. But that's a decade later. This is the first flight in Texas, the first flight in Houston. The crowds turned out. They were agog. They couldn't believe it. What a wonderful occasion. If you go to the site today, you'll find a plaque on the Chamber of Commerce building for South Houston that is set up to commemorate it. Remember, we're at 110 years now from this event, so it's well documented and well marked. You should go by and take a look and just remember that. And, you know, if you go around the other way on Airport Boulevard, you'll come to Hobby Airport. So you can almost go aviation past and present on that one.
That's nice to know. Well, can you give us one more quick tidbit on history before we leave? I'm so engaged. I want one more.
Okay. Well, that's 1910, of course. And after that, a lot of Houstonians began to fly. Like I said, Greasy Smith and Shorty Walker would fly out of there. But a lot of people don't know that Rice University set up an airfield, and they were also flying from Rice Field by 1914, only 4 years later. Houston very quickly became a hub for air transportation, and even the military got involved with setting up a detachment at Texas City in 1913. So
awesome.
Houston.
Well, we want to thank you, Michael Bludworth, volunteer historian and Houston Aviation's history and Thursday Family Fun Day guest. We'll have your information in the post after the show. Coming up after a quick commercial break, Amy and I will return with some news and hot announcements. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in 60 seconds.
When I grow up, I want to work at a school so I can be a teacher.
From classroom to career, we're with you every step. Register for real-world education at hccs.edu.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
And we're back with our news, events, and announcements. First up, we have Cosmetology Orientation. Turn your passion for beauty into a career. Join HCC Southeast for its Cosmetology Orientation for an overview of the program and to meet our experienced instructors, as well as get enrollment assistance. This is a chance for students to unleash their creativity and start a journey toward a successful future in the beauty industry. That's going to be from 10 to 11 on Thursday, August 1st. That's going to be at East Side Campus in the Workforce Building. Be sure to check our post after the show for more information. And we have Medicare Advantage.
Medicare Advantage, getting clarity. Since those who become Medicare eligible for Medicare have important decisions to make, United Healthcare is offering free series in English and Vietnamese. The series is to help understand options and to feel confident about choosing coverage based on your needs. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Wednesday, August the 10th at our HCC Spring Branch, A-Leaf Bissonnet, A-Leaf Hayes, and Katy campuses. Registration information will be in the post after the show.
We have a whole bunch of Saturday enrollment fairs when it's convenient for students. HCC understands that not everyone is available during the week to take time to enroll, so the Eastside campus is holding a Saturday enrollment fair to make it convenient for students to register and talk to advisors. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, August 10th at the Eastside Campus Learning Hub. Our post after the show will have all the information.
Automotive Career Fairs connects with employers. HCC's upcoming Fall Automotive Technician and Mechanic Career Fair is an opportunity to connect with employers who are needing talent in the forms of jobs, co-ops, internships, and more. Specialties include transportation technicians, auto body and collision repair, and transportation mechanics. This will be from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wednesday, September the 18th at the Northeast Campus. Check out the post after the show for more information.
And be sure to register for your fall classes. Fall registration is now open. We have registration for this fall semester with regular and smaller semesters offered in a variety of programs. Like all of HTC's courses for summer and fall, they are offered in our online anytime format. Don't forget those classes do have deadlines, so make sure you're paying attention to the schedule. We also have online on a schedule where you get some face-to-face time virtually with your instructor, as well as the convenience of attending the class remotely. We have hybrid, which is both face-to-face and virtual. And we have our traditional in-person classes and our hybrid labs, which Kris was talking about earlier today. To learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, visit hccs.edu/apply. Linda, thanks for being here with me today.
I've enjoyed it.
It's
Coming
great.
up tomorrow, the head of the facial aestheticians department will join us, along with the students turned faculty members who is going places. For Film Friday, we will welcome Night Wolf Productions. I've enjoyed you. This has been good. Really fun riding with you.
Yeah, anytime. It's been great. And we want to thank everyone for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.